Hey guys, welcome back to Ninja Learners. This is a series of basics of programming. Before going to tutorial, we need to choose a programming language for coding. Which one suits a beginner? I choose Python. Why Python? It's a really good question. It's a very simple and easy to start programming. It is high-level programming language, covers most of the programming paradigms like object-oriented, functional programming, etc. And it is used in many places like data science, web development, machine learning, AI and IoT and much more, etc. How to start learning new programming language? The only way to learn new programming language is by writing programs in it by Dennis Ritchie. Dennis Ritchie is the author of C programming language and great developer too. These are the topics going to cover today. Let us start a Python installation and setup. First of all, go to Google and type Python download. Here you will see list of links. Click the first link. It will redirect to the python.org/downloads. This is the official site for Python. Here I use a Windows OS, so it shows Windows exe for the latest version of a Python. If you are other than Windows or Macs or Linux, it will show the recommended executable file for that. You can download the latest version of Python while you watching at the moment of this tutorial. Right now I'm using a Python 3.9.6. This is the latest version of here, so I can download it from this site. You can also download it from here. So right now I have already installed Python in my system locally, so that let us go to our Python environment setup in Windows. How do we do that? Let us see. Go to the Explorer. Here address bar, just type app data and percentage. Press enter. It will go to the current user local workspace. So here app data, click here and go to the local folder. Here you will find the programs folder. Go to that and you will see the Python folder and click here and you will see Python 3.9. Just click here and copy the path from here, and we have to enter the path in our environment variables to work Python in all over our system. So let us go to start and type environment variables. Here we see environment variables. Just click enter and let us see we have environments variable button here. Plus here, and here system variables we have to choose a path here and click edit. Here if you are using a new, click and just paste the link of your Python installed directory. Just click OK and OK for all the tabs open here. So I'm not going to give a OK because I have already installed here Python and store the paths here. Let us see here. Here it is, I already stored. So I'm going to give cancel and cancel and cancel. So next we have to see Python shell. Let us see. Go to start and type Python. Here we can see Python 3.9 is a 64-bit. Just press enter. You will see the Python shell. Python shell is very interactive. If you do any operations like arithmetic operation, even though any kind of operation will directly given an input here. Let us see here. For example, we just as usual, every programmer is starting as a career as a hello world. We also going to do that. Print hello world. Here it is. See, you will see it will print the hello world here, because this a shell will be interactive terminal. You can do whatever you can want. Okay. Our next topic was print statement. Print statement, each and every developer we use to debug our application in a start career stage. It is very useful to debug if you are using if you are trying to find out some what the error is occurring on there, or some other exception handling you are going to do that. The print statement very useful. It is a basic console IO statement. Okay. Let us go for next topic. Let's go for a topic called variable. Let us see. Let us come back to the Python terminal or a Python shell. Here we will see the variables. In Python, we don't have any data types, so we can use the variables without mentioning the data types called any of them in doing in other languages in Java, C or C++. Java, Java is a structured programming language. Python does not. Python is an interpreted programming language and dynamic programming language. You can just mention the variable name whatever you want. For example, just I give variable name as like var and give equal to. I'm just going to give a string called hi. So variable var was initialized using a string called var hi. So let us see what is holding on this variable. Here we will see var. So this Python we have any definitions to define a variable name. For example, Java has an naming convention using naming conventions like camel case. Other as same like as we have Python also having the naming conventions. We definitely use a naming conventions and Python programming style. The Python programming style is easy to understand and easy to learn and easy to naming conventions. You can read whatever you can want. For example, I'm going to print a string hi. So I will name into just print hi. This will be reading very easy to anyone can read your code very easily. For example, like this. If you're doing with the naming convention and naming convention with the meaning, just print hi, the variable going to store a hi. Okay. uh, let us go to the next topic. Next topic was operators. Some of other similar languages also multiple types of operators, so we are going to see one by one. Okay, let's start from arithmetic operators. Defaultly arithmetic operators are common terms everybody has to know, I think so. Plus subtraction, addition, multiplication, division and modulus, and some of two things you can be new to this, exponential and floor division. We will see in that experimentally right now. Let's come back to the Python shell for executing the arithmetic operators and a practical implementation. Here it is suitable for that. Let us see. For example, 1 plus 1. Python shell is so interactive, so we are using this for this tutorial to interacting the explaining the same set of operations and operators, and any of the things. It will be very easy. You can do anything you want with the Python shell. Let us see. And do multiplication, division. Here we will see the division, why it's returning 3.0 while dividing. So Python is a special thing. If you want to be a whole number, you have to use the double backslash is a floor division, as you see in that before. Let us see. You will receive a whole number called 3. Okay, let us go to the another operator called exponential. In exponential is general, it's a programming term. It's instead of exponential term, you have easily understood it is a power of. For example, you can imagine like that 2 power 2 power 0, 2 power 1, this kind of things you will be basically learn in mathematical, I think so. So that this exponential is used for that. It's a power of. For example, let us see. 2 power 2 is a 4. Here you will see the result will be a 4. And let us see another example. For example, 3 power 2 is a 9. Oh, sorry. It is a 3, 3, 3 multiplied by 2. Let us see again. 3 exponential 2 is a 9. Here you will see it's printing a 9. So according to conclusion, these are the basics of arithmetic operators you will see in Python. Let us go back to next set of operators. Let us see assignment and comparison operators. Assignment operator is nothing but a equal. It is used to assign a value for a variable, and equal operators we usually using double equal to check equal two variables or two numericals, or any of the two strings are equal or not. Next, not equal. Not equal symbols in front of prefix exponential with equal, and greater than and less than, and greater than or equal to and less than or equal to. These are the comparison operators we going to see in a Python. Let us see in our Python shell. Here we came back to our Python shell. I think this will be visible for you. We are going to see right now assignment and comparison operators. Let us see first of all assignment operator. Here define a variable called rex. Here I will give 1. Just give the value of rex. It's print 1. So assignment operator is used to a value to a specific variable. You can assign whatever you want to the variable. For example, a equal to, I will give this string, just print a. Here it is. You look. So assignment operator is used to assign a value of what we want to return from an expression or any of a single value to a specific variable. Okay, let us go for comparison operators. First of all, we will see equals. Here equal to, we use equal double equal for equal operator. Here it will return a boolean value. Every comparison operator will return a boolean value according to the results. Okay, after equal you're going to check not equal. So 1 is not equal to 2. Oh, it returns true. and again we will check 1 not equal to 1. It returned false because 1 equal to 1. So next we are going to see greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. Okay, one is greater than or equal to 1, true, and same set of values we are going to use less than or equal to true. Next we are going to see using a changing value here from left hand side because 1 is less than 2, and we will check instead of this for a change. 1 is greater than 2. Let us see. False. Okay. Go for the next operators, great or less. We use the same set of values here. We first of all check it's a great. No, it's a false. Again we check for less. It will return a true. Yeah, let us see. It will return a true. These are the comparison operators. We saw that here. Let us move to the next set of operators, Python. Logical operators. Here it is we used to combine both or more than one expressions to return a boolean value. Here we got and or not. These are the logical operators we have. Let us see the implementation in Python shell. Logical operators usually return a boolean value within a boolean response. For example, type true and return true. Here you will see it return a true. Let us we go to the next. If I give false, it will return false. According to the AND logical operator, if any of the statement is false, it will return a false. For example, we will see adding one more AND operator and give true. It will also return a false. But while going to OR, it will not. It will return true if any one of the value is true. Let us see here. True or and false. Here you will see it return true. And go for logical operator not. Not is an is kind of returning true and false in opposite manner. If you have in a true value, it will return a false. If you have in a false value, it will return a true value. Let us see. Logical operator not implementation here. Let's see. As per said, logical operator not, it will return false if you given a value as a true. It will return true if a value will be false. Sorry. Yeah, you will see that. Okay. Right now we are seeing using a true and false to compare the logical operators. But right now we are going to see using the variables to test the logical operators. Let us see here. I will declare a variable called x equal to 1 and y equal to 2. Okay, to confirm the variable value, we just print here. Okay, we confirm that x got 1 and y got 2. Let us do that. Let us see. And I'm going to use the expression x equal to 1 and y equal to 5. Here we got a false because x equal to 1, it return a true, and y equal to 5, it return a false because y value is 2. Let us change the expression and let us see the results again. Yeah, we got true because both expressions return true. And next we go to the or operator. It return true because both the values are returned true. Or if any false value occur in it, it will give true if any one of the value expression value is true. Here we'll see. For both the values are false, so that it will return a false. Yeah. Next, we are going to see not operator implementation using variables. Okay. Right. Here we are going to check x is equal to y or not. Here it will return true because usually if the value was false, because x not equal to y, x holding a value 1 and y holding a value called 2. Instead of not, we just simply giving x equal to y to test the original value. Here it will return a false, so that not gives the opposite value of expression. For example, we will try x not equal to y. So x not equal to y return true. So not operator, it will return a false. Yeah, it will return a false. Okay, these are the logical operators of a Python. Let us see next set of operators here. Let us see identity and membership operators in Python. Identity operator is just checking a value, specific value. This variable is the same as this. Let us see x is equal to y and x is not equal to y. This is internally will occur, but instead of using a equals operator, we will use is and is not. Let us see in our Python shell. I declare a variable called x and assign a value 1 and declare a variable called y and give a value called 2. Let us check x value is same as a value as a y. Here x is y. It return false because x value is not belong to y as same as y. Let us see x is not operator for the same set of values. It's not. Yeah, because x is not y. Python is usually a most readable programming language ever. So Python use instead of equal to check the value, is it use identity operators to validate that is and is not. Let us see with some other thing. For example, we change the values called y value. Again assign equal to y equal to 1. And let us check the same set of operations here. X is y, it will return true. Yeah, it returned true. And x is not a y. Let us see what it's returned. False. Because x is y, it is holding the same set of values. Let us see membership operators. What is membership operators? It is also special operators in Python. For example, it both operators are return boolean value in and not in. For example, we need to check a specific value is in a list or not. For example, I have a set of elements called 1, 2, 3. I need to check a value 1 that is in the list or not. So I'm going to use in and not in as same as not in. Why we are using a not in? For checking the value is in not the sequence or a list, any of this. Let us see the implementation in a Python shell. We use a variable called x and having a value called 1, and let's check it, it's 1, and we will create a variable name called ls and give sequence of variable 1 comma 2 comma 3 and press enter and check the value 1 comma 2 comma 3. So we are going to check x value is in list or not. So x in ls, yeah, true, because x value 1 is in the sequence 1 comma 2 comma 3. So we are going to check next not in the specific list. For example, x is not in the list, x holding a value called 1 and the sequence having 1 2 3. So the value in the list, but we are going to check the value is not in the specific list. So here we will see false. Why? Because it is going to check the value specific in the list. So it returned false. Because of it, we are using a not operator in the front of in. So it will return the opposite value of any of the logical operation here, as before we saw in logical operators. Let us see another example. Um, for example, we will see 4 is in ls or not. It returned true because 4 is not in the ls. ls list contains the variable sequence 1 comma 2 comma 3. So 4 is not in the ls. So we checked 4 not in the ls. It returned true. Yes. So that here we again check this x not in the ls because it returned false. According to the statement, we are checking the variable value is not in the list. So x is in the list, so it returned false. Let us see the next set of operators in Python. The basics of operators are arithmetic operators. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. I guess one thing we actually forgot: modulus. Modulus is just simply give the remainder value of the division operation first there. Let us see in our Python terminal. Here, see, it will simply return the remainder value of this. 2 modulo 2 will be 0. For example, we going to modulo 3, it will return 1. Let us see another value. If we do 5, it will return again 1 because the remainder value 5 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, that's all finished. Next we go for assignment operator and comparison operator. Assignment operator is simply assigns a value to a variable. Comparison operators just compares the values of an expression or a value. Logical operators compares both the results of two expressions and returns a Boolean value as per that. And identity and membership operators. Identity operators is a simple thing. It will check the similar to equals. Instead of using equals operator, we will just simply use is and is not. Membership operators is simply checks the specific value in a sequence or not. And bitwise operators. As before I said, bitwise operators are special operators, just uses the bits to do perform operations in numeric values. Let us go to the next topic of our tutorial, control statements. In control statements, we will see if statements and loops. In Python, we have two loops, for and while. We will see after that if statement. Let us go to Python shell. Let us see if 1 equal to 1 and enter. I use temp for indentation. Just print s. Here you will see in Python indentation is very important. There is no curly braces we are going to use in Python. So instead of curly braces, Python use indentation. Let us see if I not use indent properly this if statement, how it's throw an error. For example, I will use like this. If it throws a indentation error, expected an indentation block here. Okay, let us came back to our if statement. If just will execute the value within the within it. If the expression value was true in this case, it's just simply execute what are the statements within the if block. Other than if the expression returns false, it will not execute that. Let us see. 1 is equal to 2. Press enter. No, there is no yes print because if does not execute. Why? It returns the expression returns the false value. Let us go to the next control statement. Is called if else. As same as if initial expression return false, it will go to the else statement. Let us see. Else here we will print no. Let us see what is execute. It prints no. As I said before, it will come to the else part if the if statement get a false value from an expression. Let us see next control statement elif. Why we use elif? We have an set of options to find the values of a specific variable or a large set of options for a specific value. We can use that. For example, I'm going to having a variable called x, and value is 1. So I can have a different kinds of values to evaluate that. So I use elif. For example, here I'm going to check x equal to 0. So this print is, instead of if x is not 0, so I will go for another value to check. So I use elif. If x equal to 1. So I will going to check for print yes is 1. Let us see what the statement is going to print. As per I said before, if x equal to 0, otherwise it will go for the next block of statement to check elif. If x equal to 1, so the statement is true, it print the statement yes is 1. Okay, we will see with this with the else statement as for the same set of problem. Here print s and elif and print s and else print none. Here we got a print yes is 1. In Python we have two loops. One is for loop, another is while loop. Let us see here. For I can range of 10. 1 print I. Here we see a for loop is an it will use to execute the same set of statements for n number of times. In this for loop we use a new thing called range. Range is a function, inbuilt function in Python. It will return values from specific range from 0 to n minus 1 value. In this case, it's returned from 0 to 9 because we give the range value of 10. Next, we can see the for loop to print the values of 2 plus. What do we do that? For example, for I in the range of starting from 0 to end 100 and incremented by 2. So we give 2 here and just going to print the I. Here we got from 0 to 98 because it incremented by 2. Let us see while loop. While loop also same set of things like condition checking and incremental part, and it will also execute the same set of statements within the while block. Before going to use a while, we need a variable to perform the condition checking in while to do the n number of operations. I use a variable called x, assign a value 0, and I will execute some set of statements until the x become equal to 10. Oops, here I got syntax error. Let us do it again. While x less than or equal to 10, here we see we are going to print the x and do incremental part here. X equal to x plus 1. In for loop, it will automatically generate a sequence of values using range, but while we need to do the in our manually in incremental part, it's going to print a value from 0 to 10. Here we see we got a value from 0 to 10, and we can do same set of n number of operations. We can do some other thing incremented by 2 or x. Let us see, print x and increment by 2. Here we got from 0 to 10 plus 2. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. These are the looping statements we got in Python, for loop and while loop. Once again, the looping statements are using to execute the same set of statements for a n number of times instead of giving a copy and pasting the same set of line in our code. It will reduces the code repetition and our file size and code size also. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for upcoming tutorials. See you in next video. Subscribe, press bell icon for instant notification. If you like the video, click like button and please feel free to leave comments in the comment section below.